Okay, welcome back everyone to our Motzi Shabbos Marathon, and again with great pleasure we have A.B. Spry with us here this evening in person, not on the Daf, not on the Zoom, in person as he is a new resident here in Fairways. A.B. and I know each other since the days that he built the bathrooms in my shul and did the plumbing in my shul. A.B., remember that I asked you to put walls around the urinal, and you did it, and it's a tshuva from Ramosha. It now became popular that Ramosha has a tshuva that the people shouldn't urinate out in the open, and they should put a mechitza around the urinals. The Gemara is bottom line of Daf Yud Amid Beis, Tan Rabbanan. As we learn on this Chanukah, to be Mekayim the mitzvah v'dibarta bam, lasa isnachas ruach liyitzreinu, and those that worked around parties in order to be here, their wives and their families get schar as well for working it out. Tan Rabbanan. Ein ma'abrnes hashana ela b'mizumonim. We don't convene a bezdin to declare a leap year except for people that were designated from the day before. They have to be designated from the day before that they will be on the tribunal for the leap year. Now here the Gemara tells us a story of great sensitivity. Rabbi Gamliel said, designate me 7 people to deliberate in the attic tomorrow, the leap year. He came and he found 8. So he said, the one who was not invited, Yorad, we can't have you because you have to be invited. So Ahmed Shmuel HaKatan got up. V'amar anihu she'alisi shalai b'rishus. I joined here without permission. And of course, I didn't want to participate in the vote. I just wanted the shimush. I wanted only to be mishamish. I wanted to get the practical knowledge. So Rabbi Gamliel said, Shev b'ni, Shev, sit my son, sit. You're worthy that every year should be declared a leap year with you. You're of the proper stature. Just the Chachamim said, you have to be designated. However, of course, Shmuel HaKatan wasn't the one that wasn't invited. It wasn't Shmuel HaKatan. It was someone else. But he didn't want that person to be embarrassed. And he did it to save the other person from being embarrassed. Rebbe sat down to share. He was darshaning v'reach reach shum, and he smelled some garlic. Somebody just had onion, garlic, potato chips. He smelled garlic. It disturbed him. Amar misha achal shum yotza. The one who ate garlic, please leave. Amad Rebbe Chia v'yatz. Rebbe Chia got up and he left. So when Rebbe Chia left, in honor of Rebbe Chia, amdu kulan v'yatz. Everybody else got up and left because it wasn't in honor of Rebbe Chia that he should be singled out. So everybody else left. B'shachar in the morning, Matzah Reb Shimon Berebi, Rebbe Chia, Reb Shimon Berebi met Reb Chia. Amalei atu shitzi arto la'aba. You caused my father distress. First you ate the garlic, and then you caused the shir to be disrupted. Amalei, so he said to him, Loi take his ice be Yisrael. Chas v'shalom. I wouldn't eat garlic. So I left only that the person who did it shouldn't be embarrassed. Now, where did Reb Chia get this from? That, not to do this, to take blame on yourself in order not to embarrass someone. Rebbe Chia Me'echa Gamala. Where did he learn this? Rameir. He learned it from Rameir. The Tanya Ma'isa B'isha Achas Shebasa the Beis Midrash Shel Rameir. There was an incident that a woman came into the Beis Midrash of Rameir. Amru Loi, she said to him, Rebbe, Echad Mikem Kacheni B'Biyah. One of your group was Mekadesh me with Biyah. Now that's very embarrassing because it's considered pretus to be Mekadesh B'Biyah. First of all, Kedusha needs Edom. So to be Mekadesh B'Biyah means that it has to be that at least the Edom see some sort of an act of Biyah. It's very, very pretustic. So Rabbi Meir didn't want the person who did it to have to be singled out. So he had everybody write a get. Ahmed Rameir v'kasavla get krisis v'nasanla. Everybody gave a get so that the person who did it shouldn't have to be singled out. Amdu kasvu kulam v'nasanla. They all gave her a get, so the one that did it wouldn't have to be embarrassed. V'Rameir me'echa gamala. Where did Rameir learn this behavior from? Mishmul HaKatan, from what Shmuel HaKatan did with the leap year. V'Shmuel HaKatan me'echa gamala. Where did Shmuel HaKatan learn it from? Mishchanya ben Yechiel. He learned it from Shchanya ben Yechiel. The Chsiv, Vayan Shchanya ben Yechiel mibnei Elim. Now this was at the time of Ezra. At the time of Ezra, there were Jews that married Goyish wives. Ezra had a partner, Nehemiah, who was vested with great power from the king, and therefore Ezra had very strong and wide powers to stop things, to stop Chilul Shabbos, to stop intermarriage. So Vayan Shchania ben Yechiel mibnei Elam vayomer leEzra anachnu ma'alnu be'elokenu. Of course, Shchania ben Yechiel didn't intermarry, but in order not to single people out, he included himself. Anachnu ma'alnu be'elokenu. We were treacherous to Hashem. V'noishiv noshim nachriyas ma'amei haaretz. And we took foreign wives from the people of the land. V'atam yesh mikvah Yisrael al zos. And now there's hope for Klal Yisrael to repent of this sin. Shchania ben Yechiel me'echa gamala miYeshua. D'chsev vayomer Hashem el Yeshua. Kum. The pasuk says that Hashem said to Yeshua, Kum loch, get up. Lama ze'ata noifel al panecha, why are you falling on your face? Chata Yisrael. Now the truth of the matter is, only one person was chata. Achan took from the booty of Yericha. But Hashem said chata Yisrael, not to single out. Amal afan Rebbeinu Shalom mi chata, who sinned? Hashem said, am I a snitcher? Go cast lots. We learn it out, Moshe. How long are you, Klal Yisrael, going to refuse? Hashem said, don't go out and look for man on Shabbos. He addressed all of Klal Yisrael ad ona me'antem, even though it was only two people. It was only Dasan and Avira. Now we know from the Medrash another case like this. It's a famous case of Eldad and Medad. Moshe Rabbeinu was told to pick 70 judges, right? So he needed to get 70 judges from the tribes of Klal Yisrael. But if there would be there's 12 tribes. So if it's 6 times 12 is 72. So he picked 6 from each tribe, and he wrote on 70 pieces of paper Zokain, and 2 papers he left blank. And he had everybody pick a paper. and 70 came, and Eldad and Medad stayed home. So everybody assumed that Eldad and Medad got the blank papers. Truth of the matter is, Eldad and Medad did get the zaken, but they didn't want to embarrass the people that got the blank pages, so therefore they didn't come. There was Zeicha because of that Eldad and Medad misnabah b'machna, that they got their own nevuah. But the bottom line is, again, the same thing as these Gemaras. They took it upon themselves not to embarrass the people who got the blank papers. Tan Rabbana. You know, we're mamish using the fabric of time that the miracle of Hanukkah happened. Right? It says, Sha'as nisim laviseinu bayomim oheim, in those days, bazman hazeh. And we know that the miracle happened, Zaydim biyad oiskei sarasecha. The heroes of the miracle were oiskei sarasecha. So it's wonderful that we could also we're giving mamish of our Hanukkah time, basking in the Hanukkah light, and being oiskei sarasecha. It's a beautiful thing. Tanu Rabbana. Mishemeisu Nevi'im Achronim, when the last Nevi'im passed away, Chagai, Zechariah, Malachi, Nistalka Ruach HaKodesh MiYisrael, prophecy left Klal Yisrael, V'afal Pikeino Yimishtamshim Bebasko, they had a lower level called the heavenly echo. Pamachas Yimesubim Aliyas Beis Guria B'Yerichai, when they wanted to go up and deliberate, they went up to an attic that was private, and they went up to the attic of Beis Guria in Yerichai, v'nitna aleim baskol min hashamayim, and they heard the heavenly echo. Yesh kan echad shiroi shetishra alav shchina. There is somebody over here that's worthy that the shchina should devolve upon him, Kamosh Rabbeinu. Yet ela she'ein doiroi zakei lekach, but the generation is not worthy. Niknu chacham meseinayim, and they looked at Hillel HaZaken. Hillel HaZaken, by the way, also lived to 120, and he also was with the people for 40 years. Ukishemeis, when he died, Amru alav, hey chassid, hey anav, woe, the pious person, way, the humble person, Talmidoi shel Ezra, a worthy Talmud of Ezra. Shuv pamachas hayimesum ba'aliyah b'Yavna, they were in an attic in Yavna. V'nitna aleim baskol min hashamayim, there was a heavenly echo. Yesh kan echad shiroi shetishra alav shchina, there's somebody here that's deserving to have Ashras HaShrina. El Hashem doirei zakei lekach. Nitnu chacham mesneineim b'Shmuel HaKatan. Imagine, he's known as Shmuel the Small. The teferis of Midos is humility. Ukeshemeis, Amru alav, they said about him, hey chassid, hey anav, woe the pious person, woe the humble person, Talmidoi shel Hillel. Afu ama b'shas misasai, Shmuel HaKatan said when he was dying, Lo Yaleinu, Shimon v'Yishmael lecharva. Shimon and Yishmael, Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel and Rabbi Yishmael will die by the sword, Sarah Aruge Malchus, v'chavroi lekatala, and their colleagues also will go to the death, v'shar ama lebiza, the rest of the nation will be despoiled, v'oken sagian asidin lemeisi al ama. And many terrible things will happen to come on our nation. A grim deathbed report. Now, when Yehuda ben Bava died, they also wanted to give such a hesped, hey onav, hey chassid, and that the Shechina was right to be on him. But he was one of the Asar Arugei Malchus. Val Yehuda ben Bava bikshu leimer kain, el shenitru fasha, the time was snatched from them. She'ein maspidin al Arugei Malchus. You cannot eulogize somebody that's put to death by the throne. Tan Rabbana. Ein ma'abrines hashana el im kein yirtze nasi. You can't declare a leap year except with the consent of the Nasi. The Nasi was the head of the Sanhedrin. One time, Rabbi Gamliel, the Nasi, was on a mission to get permission from a Goyish monarch in Syria. V'shah lavai, he delayed, and they wanted to declare a leap year. V'ibru es hashana, they declared the leap year on condition. Al manashi yirtze Rab Gamliel. U'shebegah Rab Gamliel v'amar reitzani, when Rab Gamliel said that he consented, nims shana mu'beres, that the year was intercalated retroactively. Now, why would we add an extra month? So there's different reasons, all kinds of different reasons. Very interesting about it. This gives us a very new insight into what a leap year is. This Masechta contains a lot of varied information. So Tana Rabbanan, Eima Abranes Hashana Elim Kenois Tzricha Mipnei Hadrachim. They needed time to fix the potholes, for pothole repair, so that the Oile Regalim coming up for Pesach shouldn't hurt themselves. Umipnei Hagasham, to fix the bridges. Umipnei Tanurei Pesachim, it was a very rainy winter, and the ovens, which were made out of clay, dissolved, and they had to make new ovens. Umipnei Golyas Yisrael Shenekru Mimekaiman, or because of people from Chutzlarts that started to travel, but they were delayed, and they wouldn't make it for Pesach. V'adayin lo yagiu. Avaloi mipnei hashelek, they don't declare a leap year because of snow. V'loi mipnei hatzina, or cold. Snow or cold doesn't stop committed people from coming. V'loi mipnei golyus Yisrael shelo yakru mimekaymen. If the people didn't leave yet, then we don't delay it for them. Tana Rabbanan, ein ma'abrines hashana, we don't declare a leap year. Loi mipnei hagediyim, we don't declare a leap year if the common Pesach was from a goat or a sheep. Now, if they found by the shepherds that the goats and the sheep were very skinny, so we would think maybe we should add an extra month so that they should fatten up, so there'll be more meat for the Seder table. That's not a reason to declare a leap year. To fatten up the goats, or to fatten up the sheep. The din is that we bring two birds of either Tairim or Bnei Yaina. Now, the Bnei Yaina, the pigeons, they have to be very young. The Tairim, you could only bring turtle doves when they know how to fly. If a report came in that the turtle doves did not yet mature, and maybe you should add an extra month that there should be more turtle doves available, they don't wait for that. However, although we don't make a leap year for these reasons themselves, we'll see that we need two reasons for a leap year. We could use them as a second reason. Ketzad, Reb Shimon Gamliel. Reb Yana gave an example of Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel's declaration of a leap year. Mahodoin anachnu lechain. We are alerting you to the fact the gozlaya rechichin. The turtle doves are still young; they don't know how to fly yet. The imraya de arkin, and the sheep, they're very thin. The zimnan da aviva loimata, and it didn't yet come the time of spring. Oh, that's a big thing. You see, there's a problem. We go with the lunar year. The lunar year is 12 months. The year is 354 days. But in one area, we go according to the solar year. And that is that Pesach has to fall out b'chodesh Aviv, in the spring. If we allow the lunar year to continue, every year we lose 11 days, because the solar year is 365, the lunar year is 354. So every year we lose 11 days. If we wait a bunch of years, it's going to make it that Pesach won't fall out in the spring. So in order to rectify that, once in a while we add a month to push it back to the spring. So he said, and also there's a third reason, and that is that V'zimna da'aviva loy mata, it didn't reach yet spring. V'shafres milsa ban poi, and it's therefore favorable in my eyes. V'isifas al shata da, we're going to add to this year, Tlas in Yom, we're going to add an extra Adar, 30 days. Now that's interesting, 30 days. Meisvei kama iber hashana shloishim yom, 30 days. Reb Shimon Gamliel omer chodesh, 29 days. But here it says Reb Shimon Gamliel said 30 days. Amar Papa, what Reb Shimon Gamliel means is ratzu chodesh, ratzu shloishim yom. You could do 29 days, you could do 30 days. Now, here, Reb Shimon Gamliel said, in the name of himself, it's Shafres Milsa Ba'an Poi. So says the Gemara, Tochazi, my Ika Ben Takifaya, what there is between the strong people of Kadmoi, the strong people of the ancients. Now, Rabbi Gamliel was a strong person. He was Naig Srara, right? And he made Rabbi Yeshua come with his money belt and his purse on a day that Rabbi Yeshua thought was Yom Kippur. He was very strong. And yet we will see that this Rabbi Gamliel will say it in the name of himself and the name of his colleagues. Min vasanose basroi, to the humble people later on who say it in the name of themselves. The Tanya Ma'aser Rabbi Gamliel. There was an incident Rabbi Gamliel. This is Rabbi Gamliel from the ancients. He was sitting on a step on the Temple Mount. And Yochanan, the scribe, the court clerk, he had 3 scrolls pre-cut Lefanav Munachas in front of him. He was ready to take dictation about national declarations. So he said, Toli gar techada, take one of these scrolls. Now you should know that there was a time of vidui meiser. In the 4th and the 7th year, on the day before Pesach, any meiser that you had in the house, you had to get rid of from the house. So, because of la'achana b'nei Galilah, to our brothers in Galil, the b'nei Galilah, Upper Galil. Now, in Upper Galil, they did a lot of trade in oil. Ula'achana b'nei Galilah tata, and Lower Galil, shlom chan yaske, great peace unto you. Modon anachnu l'chan, we're letting you know, it was either the 4th or the 7th year. The Zman Bi'ura Mota, that the time of Bir Meiser is arriving. And make sure La'frushe Masra, to remove the Meiser, Mimatona Dezesa, from your olive vats. In other words, he was letting them know that they should get ready to take care of the Meiser, because the time of Bir Meiser was coming. Vitoli Gartachada, take another scroll, Vikosev, and write as follows. La'achana b'nei Droma, to our brethren in the south, where they did a lot of agriculture, wheat. Shloim chayin yaske, great peace to you. Modon anachnu l'chayin, we're going to inform you. The zman biura mata, the time of vidui meiser, bir meiser is arriving. La'frushe meiser me oimrei shibalaya, from the piles of your stalks. That's the second letter. V'toyli gar tochada, and take a third letter. V'kosev, and write la'achana b'nei galvasa, to our brothers in the diaspora, in Bavel, ul'achana de b'madai, and our brothers in Madai, ul'shar kol galvasa de Yisrael, and all the other diaspora Jews, shloim chan yaske, great peace unto you, l'olam forever. Modon anachnu l'chayin, we're letting you know, the geizlaya rechichen, the turtle doves, they're still immature. The imra arkin, and the sheep are thin. The zimna daviva loimata, it's not time yet for the spring. The shafra milsa ba'anpoi, and it's good in my eyes, ba'anpei chavrai, and in the eyes of my colleagues. Va'isifas al shatadah, and we're adding to the year yoimin tlas. So you see that the great Rabbi Gamliel, who was so mighty, didn't do like the people afterwards and just say in my eyes, but he said in my eyes and the eyes of my colleagues. So he exercised great humility. Says the Gemara, well, Dilma Basar Davru, maybe that's after they deposed him because of what he did with Rabbi Yeshua, and they appointed Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, who was it in the Haggadah, who was Ben Zayma, Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, right? And they appointed Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah instead. Maybe that gave him an exercise of humility. Now, Tana Rabbanan. Wow, how much interesting Gemara we're learning tonight. Wow, it's really amazing. Tana Rabbanan. Al shloisha dvar ma'arbim es hashana. For three main reasons, they would declare a leap year. Ala Aviv, because it wasn't spring yet, and they wanted the wheat to ripen, because remember, on Pesach they brought the Omer to use the new crop. And if the wheat didn't ripen yet, so then the Omer would not matter it, and they would have to wait till the next year. Val Peris Elon, and for the fruit, that it should be ready for Shavuos to bring the Bikurin. Va'alat Kufa. And also, as I said, to make sure that the spring equinox, which is when the sun is near the equator, that the spring equinox, that the season of spring should be for Pesach, that Pesach should fall al Chodesh Aviv. Al Shnayim Mehem Ma'abrim, for two of these reasons they declare a leap year, but Val Echad Mehem, for one of them, Ein Ma'abrim. Ubezman She'oviv Echad Mehem, and when the crops is one of the reasons, Hakol Smeichem, because nobody wants to have to wait a whole year for the new crop to be permitted by the Omer. Reb Shimon Gamliel Omer ala Tkufa. Says the Gemara, Ibayilu, what does this mean? Does it mean ala Tkufa Smeichem, that the adjustment of the calendar, they're happy, because they don't want Sukkot to fall out in the middle of the winter? Oh, ala Tkufa Ma'avrin. It means that to calculate that the Pesach should be in the Chodesh Aviv, that is enough of a reason to declare a leap year. Says the Gemara, Teku, Tishbi Ataretz, Kushis v'Yibayis. Tan Rabbanan. Al Shloisha Aratzais Ma'abrin Es Hashana. The Rabbanan teach that for the Tfuah, remember we said if the Tfuah is not ready, it's not ripened, we'll add 30 days. So we determine three regions. Yehuda ve'ever ha'yarden v'ha'galil. Yehuda, the Transjordan, and the Galil. Al shtayim mehem abrim. If the tfuah is not ripe in two of them, we declare leap year. Va'al achas mehem ein ma'abrim. Ubezman she Yehuda achas mehem, and when Yehuda is one of them that we wait for, Hakol Smeichem, because we want to make sure that there's ripe wheat in Yehuda, because that's where the Omer comes from. She'ein Omer ba elam Yehuda. Tan Rabbanan, ein ma'abrin es hashonim elam Yehuda. We only declare a leap year with a bezdin that convenes in Yehuda. V'imibrua begalil, if they convene in the Galil, muberes. However, Heyed Chanani ish unai im ibrua begalil, if they do it in Galil, ain't a muberes. It has to be in Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Shimon Pazi, my time of the Chanani ish unai. What's the reason of Chanani ish unai? Amakra l'shichnoi sidrishu, to his habitat, to Hashem's dwelling, you should deliberate uvasa shama, and come there. Kol drisha shata darish, all deliberations that you take, lo yehu ela b'shichnoi shel makom, it should be by the dwelling of Hashem, which is in Yehuda. Tan Rabbanan, ein ma'abrin es hashana ela b'yayim. We only declare a leap year in the day. V'imibruah b'layla, if we declare it in the night, eina muberes. It doesn't work. V'ein mekatchin as a chodesh ela b'yom. We don't declare a new moon except in the day. V'im kitshur b'layla eina mekudesh. How do we know that you don't mekadesh a chodesh b'layla? That's why if you forget Yalav V'yavai, or Rosh Chodesh in the night, you don't say Ovish Shmona Esrei, because we're not mekadesh a chodesh in the night. So Amar Rab Abba Mikra, Tiku b'chodesh shofar, blow the shofar on the new moon, b'kesa l'yom chagenu, when it's hidden on the day of the festival. Now, normally the moon is on festivals, on Sukkot and Pesach, it's on the 15th, so the moon is big in the sky. When is the moon not seen? Rosh Hashanah. Because Rosh Hashanah is on the first of the month, and then the moon is hidden. When is the month covered? So it's talking about Rosh Chodesh. And it says, because of Ki Chayklu Yisrael, who? It's a statute for Yisrael, Mishpat Le'elokei Yaakov. Oh, it's calling Rosh Chodesh a Mishpat. Ma Mishpat B'yom, just like judgment is in the day. Af Kiddush HaChodesh B'yom, so also the sanctifying of the new moon is in the day. Okay, Rabbi say, first of all, we want to remind you that Daf Yomi tomorrow night is at 8. We want to remind you that those that can't join us, it would be nice to have a surprise and have people drive in and join us for the Chanukah Masiba /Siyum 6:30 Be'ezus Hashem on Monday. If you're coming, please RSVP to Gedalia Engel or to Mark Frankel.